Leo, you've been on this before, right?
Oh yeah, I've been here before.
Okay, all you gotta do is say Joe Boy's right. That's all you gotta remember.
Joe Boy is correct.
Yeah, it's really all you gotta say.
Have you done any
Yes.
research about ghost guns?
Yeah, I did a little research about ghost guns. First Amendment having the right to say what you want, and criminals shouldn't have ghost guns, but I do feel like we should not ban them.
Well, my mark is very simple. We have the right to make our own bows and arrows. We have the right to make crossbows. We should be able the right to make our own weapons of any kind because that's how we get innovation.
That's how I feel. We should have our right to make any weapon. How do we protect our homes?
The fact that they already have laws in place that if a person makes a gun at home, it's legal. If he takes that gun and takes it to a gunsmith to fix it or repair it and make it better, then that person must properly get it registered. The gunsmith then puts a serial number on it and gets it registered. So there's an in-place system already. Just because
Right.
criminals are learning to make their own guns, and you can now 3D print guns that take about 200 hours to do, doesn't mean it changes the law. And banning the documents of 3D printed items is like banning a book on how to take Ajax and ammonia and make a bomb out of it.
Not wrong.
Or
Banning the right is like
a deadly smoke bomb, excuse me.
say that one more time. Banning the right to take the right to make guns is like banning what? That was funny.
Banning the right to have 3D printed guns, the materials on how to make a gun. Banning the instructions is like saying we're going to ban the ability to print out how to take Ajax and ammonia and mix it together to make a biohazard spray. It's common knowledge that if you breathe those two in, you will die. It mixes two together, it cleans really well, but it can kill you.
Yeah, try making a bomb online and see what happens to you.
Is it
There's
illegal?
videos about it all the time. No one's stopping the videos because you can't.
Is it illegal
Apparently
to
my
put
name is on
gasoline
my
and a
show
fuse
back.
into a glass
Yeah.
bottle and throw it?
You can't ban
Tiberius,
putting
what are
something
you
together
doing?
for protection.
Oh my goodness, Tiberius is on. Oh my goodness.
If you use it for protection.
I'm here. Hello.
Hey, if I'm making a firearm, it's probably for my protection. I'm taking the risk. Most people who build their own firearms, if anything goes wrong, it's them getting injured because the
You
firearm
always
back
take
is a
risks.
problem on them. They're just trying to find another way for government to log everything made.
Is it a constitutional right not to hurt yourself?
You know?
Do we need legislation to protect idiots from hurting themselves?
Well, the big deal
They're
is
just finding a better way to log what we do for protection.
Can you guys hear me?
yeah.
Okay,
question
good.
is-
But you
I can
can't
hear
see
you.
me. Yeah, I'm gonna be on faceless, man, because my face is swollen up, so I don't want to be on camera.
I think you should. We'll just make this big slapping sound every time you come on.
Oh.
Hey, you know where to look, right?
I'm going to be looking straight into the center of that screen,
Right where
Good.
right
and the
between,
red
Should
meat-
be,
Yeah.
Peter.
right in the corner. That's where I'm going to try and aim.
Okay. Try not to rustle papers.
Exactly.
I'm going to try not to look at the papers.
See, does he pull it off?
Usually, if we do this right, instead of you started off and then we ended up going, you ended up just having to hold this down.
Yeah.
Say, well, hold on, what do you think? Hold on, what do you think? Hold on, what do you think? You saying that you're in the middle and you don't know yet?
Oh. Oh, wow.
No, that's what I want us to.
There is certain things.
Not necessarily, because the problem is to build a real ghost gun, that one that's a function and used well, you need your own CNC machine. Well, that costs $3-4 grand. And then you got to buy blocks of pure metal. That costs a nice big chunk of money. So it's not cheaper to make your own gun than it is to just to buy one and file it off. Okay. The question is if a gun enthusiast wants to learn how to make a gun, wants to improve it, wants to modify it and see if he can make it better, he should have the right to. And the government shouldn't be involved in that. I'm sorry that so many people get it, but the cat's out of the bag. We can make 3D knives. Do you want to ban 3D knives? The only state to do it successfully has been New Jersey. And every website says only for American citizens. You must log in and show your ID to be able to download these files. And if you are a communist and you live in New Jersey, we understand, and you can't get it either.
Well, you know, you just that stuff causes a problem. You know, it causes a problem for certain people. Like for myself, well, I don't do it anymore, but working at TSA, it's a problem for us.
It absolutely is a problem.
It's a big problem.
Is it
you see a shape of a gun?
Is it a problem that can be resolved by government action?
Yeah, it's a big problem. So
It is a problem that can't be solved from government action.
yeah,
They
we're
can
the
have them be
government.
better trained on how to recognize the shape of a plastic firearm.
It cannot be solved by government action. Government action will
You
not.
can go to ghostguns.com and download a gun right now.
There's different shapes and sizes. It makes our job at TSA a lot harder. We do training all the time on this stuff. Well, we used to. I used
Right.
to. Different shapes and sizes. It can look like a mouse. It can look like a fucking cell phone, a remote. It can look like a watch. They have watch guns. They have
Well, drug dealers use different
Wallet.
containers not to because it makes it harder to do the job and detect them.
yeah, 3D knives that look like a credit card. They got stuff that
I
looks
mean, guys who sell weed, I think they use different shaped containers to hide it when they put it on an
That's right.
airplane.
peanut
Do
butter.
you want
yeah.
them to all use the same one so you can detect it easier, or were you
No,
trained for?
I'm just saying that this just makes our job harder.
Yep, that's you know.
We
I can
can't,
approve.
it's hard enough to protect people already, so it just makes our job harder. Well, my job, I used to do it, but hey, Ollie.
That's different.
But again, I mean, there's multiple layers to the question. You know, is it something that it is constitutionally acceptable to regulate or prohibit? What am I doing with that?
You know, that's why I'm against it, because it makes the job harder for certain people's jobs to protect other people.
And you want me to go in there on the Zoom?
Otherwise, I'd be for it. You can make your own weapons and stuff, but as a professional person keeping stuff off the planes, and that's why I'm against it, because it makes our job a lot harder.
Hey, Bob.
Yo.
Bob, I've got a question for Joe. It looks like this is already being recorded, I guess, by Don probably.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn it over to you.
Oh.
And you've already gone on my.
Then I have to start the recording?
Yeah, when I turn over to you, the host, right? But I'm recording anyway. I'm gonna still record it on my side because I'm recording it.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Okay.
This way,
I just wanted to make sure I was doing it
log
right.
out Ollie, it shuts it for everybody.
Okay. You want me
You'll
to?
be the host. You log out, it shuts it for everybody.
Have you already sent Jeff and Michelle theirs?
I did, and I
Okay.
don't see him yet.
Then I can record.
Could you first come over and have a finish because it is
Yeah.
No, it's Jeff Nolan and Michelle Walters. Right. Along with Leo, who's out there. Have you met Leo? No. You gotta go out and say, well, go out and say hi to Leo.
Advantage of having those guns.
When is the meet and greet?
It was back at my desk.
Link, we're ready to.
I'll let Bob see. Let me see.
Hey Don, how's your teeth? How you doing?
I look like Marlon Brando a little bit.
Well, my favorite dental one is the movie 10 with Dudley Moore,
Yeah.
where he goes to the dentist.
When are
The
they
dentist
talking?
is the father of Bo Derek, and he wants to get
Noon to
close to Bo
5?
Derek, and so he goes to the dentist just to meet Bo Derek. It turns out he needed all this dental work, so he basically
wait,
did
I'm
all
sorry.
this dental work on Dudley
noon,
Moore. Then he goes into a diner,
one
and he
investigator.
sees this girl. He starts trying to chat her
when-
up while
okay,
he's
and
drinking
then
hot
you
coffee.
said-
So
Right.
basically, coffee runs down his shirt, you know.
Oh yeah, because the mouth is numb, right?
Yeah, you have no feeling in your mouth, so you can't drink anything, you know.
Right.
She wants to start.
So that is the funniest thing ever. Yeah.
Find the car.
God.
And go back
Hilarious.
outside by the gate and just watch for the car to leave from the position outside the parking garage.
Who's that
Wait,
coming?
wait,
Is
I'm
that
sorry, I
Ollie?
apologize. I'm sorry, the screen blanked out, so I got distracted. I'm sorry,
Jeff
just
said
say what you said
Ollie,
again.
we can't hear you.
Yeah, she wants you to start by going in the parking garage to find the vehicle.
Right,
If the vehicle is there, then take a position outside the garage
He's
and
gotta learn
watch
how to
for the
mute
car to
himself.
come out and follow from there. She thinks
What's
either
that?
he's gonna go to the gym or go to dinner with
Yeah,
her.
I love it. It's okay. You know, I watch other podcasts. It's amazing how
are you still
know,
there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay.
And if they go to dinner, just to go in there and get the covert.
Yeah, of
footage.
course, yeah, of course. But you,
If you need to bring a second
now you,
gun in, if they go to dinner,
really
that's
good
fine.
pita chip.
right,
We got brown sugar
uh,
plus your son
um,
took the 5 cheese ones. Right.
there
Well,
is a gym adjacent to the parking garage, and a ton of the condo residents obviously go to that gym. I don't know if he would necessarily drive to another gym, but you know, he might walk over there.
Yeah, I'll ask her. She said she's gonna get the information, tonight,
Yeah,
what gym he goes to.
so that's what we observed was there was a bunch of, oh shoot, hang on.
No, we can hear you.
Bob, do we got pool guy coming in?
Tiberius, my man.
oh no. No, that's Phipps. We need pool guy.
I've got 38 short, a 380 round in my pocket. Hey, come build me a gun around that, will you?
Shoot, sorry about that. I don't know if y'all heard half my phone call.
I did.
I did.
I did.
Unfortunately, I had my own speaker silenced. I had the speaker silenced, but not the phone. I had the computer. So if y'all tried to talk to me and warn me, hey, we can hear your call, I would not have heard you.
So you better make sure to mute yourself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you just
Yeah.
need to mute yourself on Zoom.
Hey, Bob.
Yes, yeah. But the initial, because he called me, the initial concern was y'all were talking a lot and I had to shut y'all up. So so that I could talk, and it didn't, I totally forgot about muting myself.
Joe Boy is on the show. So it's to show people. What? He's on the show also. Here, come on. Here, I'll show you right here. Look, you got Leo and Joe on the right. Yeah. And you're going to have Michelle and Jeff on the left when they come in. Jeff's on in a couple of minutes. Oh, he is the moderator of the Zoom, the Peanut Gallery.
All right, okay,
Right.
sorry.
So that's on Zoom, and you won't.
So you've got Joe and Leo.
When we start the show, he's going to mute the Zoom, so you won't even hear. See, the great thing is you only hear the 4. You don't hear the Zoom and all the interruptions and all that. You won't hear any of that.
Now,
Okay. And this will be the first time I've ever got to watch Peanut Gallery, which is going to be good because of the fact I'll get to finally see kind of how that runs. And, because we always had the idea that the Peanut Gallery could be great if everybody just jumps in with these 1 or 2 word, as we've talked about. It could be. But the problem is we had people that would talk and talk and talk, and then they can't hear it. So nobody else on the Zoom can hear the show. That's why like when Ollie's on the Zoom, Ollie almost never says anything because he doesn't want to shut everybody else from hearing what the panelists are talking about. So we've tried to figure out a way. Now, could it be
Michelle, you're muted.
on the Zoom on the Peanut Gallery, which is what we need to get to, our 150 people on the Peanut Gallery. We haven't.
Jeff Nolan, can you say hello?
Hey, everybody. Can you hear me?
Jeff, good to see you.
Look at me.
Oh my
I'm
God.
ridiculous.
So the emails, you haven't seen
ridiculous
the
hair.
emails
Hey, this is
going
Michelle.
back and forth on the debate, have you, Jeff?
A little
Yeah.
bit.
Okay, I didn't know whether you were included in those emails. Ted and
But-
Larry. And,
Michelle, you're supposed to be
talked
on the
about
other
that.
one, right?
Oh no, actually, I don't think I am because I would have definitely.
Oh,
yeah,
it's coming in a little
so-
light.
Some regions, gun ownership
Jeff.
is deeply.
I think you're supposed to be on a rendezvous. Hold on, I got to unmute Can you
yourself.
turn my mic
Somebody
up?
else, so
You want to kill the Zoom for a
You
second?
got to
or what?
unmute yourself, Michelle.
Firearm blueprints can be easily
Okay,
Okay, am I unmuted?
Yeah, there you go.
no, Walters, aren't you supposed to be on the show? Why are
You're
you on
supposed to be on
Zoom?
the
I
rendezvous.
know. You know what? I forgot. Okay, let me go over there to the other one.
Just kill it, but you got to get out of Zoom.
All right, I'm getting out.
Just close Zoom and go on the other.
serial numbers.
See, she's our well, not
No.
unicorn, chameleon, in that she's sometimes on the left and sometimes on the right. But I don't know if you've heard me tell you the story before. You might have been on the show when I said it. When I first met Michelle, she was just had that.
You got to zoom out.
All right, I'm out.
Yeah.
But she
Accessible to
studies
those
more
who
than anybody.
can't
So
buy
when she gets a
firearms.
topic, as you know,
Ooh.
she's taught-
So it still says recording.
Yeah,
Yes,
but
Are you still supposed to keep it?
and then
yeah.
Because-
Yeah.
All right.
Hey,
Are you? I'm gonna send you the host. And you put your recording.
Ollie's not
Gray
recording
area.
yet.
going to go.
But I thought Joe said that'll knock everybody off.
I mean,
If you
I
log
think-
out, yes, we don't want you to
I
log out.
can't argue.
Don't
with
log
someone-
out.
His approach to it, and Jeff Nolan is the same.
Ollie log out or
Both
something?
Jeff and
No,
Who's the host?
Me right now. I'm gonna turn it over to Ollie in a second.
so, but that's
Ollie,
what's been-
you ready for it?
I'd love
Don
to
right
do
now is the host.
stuff. She writes a lot of op-eds.
Joe, are you telling Don not to pass the host to me?
He's
No,
on
if
my
he
wife's
passes it
text
to
stream,
you,
or my
you
wife's
start
text
recording.
thread,
You can pass it
and
back
some
if
of
you
the
want him to
conservatives
close it
do
out.
not handle Deb
Whoever's
well,
gonna
but
stay the
she's such a
longest.
hardcore leftist,
Yeah.
which is don't mind.
You just need to get
Ollie, I
Michelle
don't
in.
see.
I don't know where she's
And in
at.
fact, honestly, shouldn't this one be?
Okay,
Oh,
Don,
here-
go
no,
ahead and
no,
pass
no,
it to
no,
me.
no, Tiberius, please,
Law
no.
enforcement can't
Okay.
track them, but we have to have our firearms.
The issue is, Tiberius,
we've
we're on
never
the
had
same
so many
internet,
people
and if you start recording, it's going to
show,
take more bandwidth and
especially-
slow everybody else
That's-
here, and the show will get slowed down.
Okay.
So it says I'm the host now, but it still says recording.
Good.
Yes.
That's what it's supposed to say.
So it'll go to Don's computer or mine?
Don's. You gotta you have to press recording on your own.
Oh, goodness. Have a ghost gun.
Ooh, 5
Don and Bob's computer at his office is currently recording right now.
Yeah.
You
You can just do the host,
gotta
Ollie.
press the record button at the bottom.
We got it on this side.
Joe, I don't understand it. It still is like flashing as if it's recording.
We won't have pool guy. Dang it.
Okay, don't worry about it then. I don't have time to sit there and mess with it.
Okay.
What I need to do is there's a bunch of people that have expressed interest in stuff, and I've just got to one arm up top. I mean, I'm sending out 200 emails every time I send out about the peanut gallery, but people get emails all the time. You ignore them, and I know that's what's happening.
Okay, Michelle, if you can do me a favor and bring yourself in, lower the top of the screen so we can see you.
Hey, Ollie. How you like the boys?
Yeah. They looked amazing. That phone call that I took from the client was a case that I had to work from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Sunday. So I was in my car in a parking lot on NFL.com just watching the box score.
All right.
That's all I could do. I mean, it looked
Hey,
great.
pretty
on the
good, or it's
box
pretty
score.
Yeah, I didn't watch it either. I was watching the other game with my friend, and I just watching the score come in.
Right, right. But I
What are we
would like
trying
to
to
see,
do?
I mean, I would like to see the replay. I've seen the highlights.
Can you do the other? Is that what you want?
Yeah, you can go. I think you can go to one. I think it's
We just
Okay.
just hit more lights on for Leo. That's all.
Why do I feel like I'm
Okay, you can come in now. Great.
Michelle, just smile. I'm sure that Don will tell you you look awesome.
Yes,
Don,
yes, I will.
so
Hi, I'll tell you.
Exactly. Hey, Michelle, I heard
Yes,
you
I
had fun
will.
yesterday.
I did.
What were you? Where were you?
I was at Shooter's World with Peter.
Yeah, she was out at a gun range with Peter, Don. I just wanted to tell you.
Really?
Yeah.
Getting
Talk about
myself
a
much more
level of
proficient.
self-freedom.
Done something I've never done.
Can you guys hear me?
So much fun.
I can hear you, Jeff, but you blacked out your screen for some reason.
Yeah, just all of a sudden my screen went off. I don't know why.
Well, we can't have that, Jeff.
Well, everyone's leaving. We've got 3 minutes left, so we'll see what happens.
It's all right. No big deal.
Kids.
Good news is it's not like we have 60 people on Zoom waiting for the show. We're okay.
Wow, look at that.
Oh, look at you.
No, I did better than this. I had I from the other
Jeff,
one.
go ahead and log out of it and come back in and see if that works.
Look,
Look
Okay,
at
sorry.
you. Yeah.
Because you lost your camera.
Don't worry. Do we have to start right at 6:00? No.
no. I know. Where's my other one?
Yay! Yeah, timer should be working. I've tested them.
Okay.
No, you don't want my timer keep going. No, not my timer.
We always
Make
have
Michelle's timer keep going.
you know, whether
Whoa.
you get it right, you know, how
I don't know. I
It
see
used-
some ink stains on that target. I think you used a 38 caliber pen to punch some holes in the bullseye.
Michelle, how do you know you didn't just walk up to it? Just point
He
blank?
just gets in and gets out because he's like, why do I need to say? You know, type of thing.
Exactly.
Did you use a zip gun?
I see it
You use a ghost gun?
on my ghost gun.
I think the ghost gun is something that the Scooby-Doo team invented.
Absolutely.
Ghost gun.
I thought it was Casper's gun.
Peter, I thought it was all right. Crazy.
Oh, looks like we got Steve Eisenberg in.
Where
Hello?
I thought it was Whoopi Goldberg and Patrick Swayze's gun.
Can't be.
The best ghost movie ever.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
NRI.
Reason why I sound funny, you guys, because I got a mouthful of cotton.
What?
So.
Okay, almost ready to rock and roll, guys?
Yep.
Yes.
Tiberius, you ready?
You know what? I need more glass. My glass.
Oh, and we lost Michelle.
I know. You know what though? Let me.
Well,
click
but at
these
least
for-
we didn't lose her screen like Jeff. There we go. She's back.
Liz, I just
Jeff,
need
if
to
your
click
screen
that.
goes out, just log out, log back in. I'll mess with the cameras to make it fix. If I
Sounds
see that
good,
you
Jeff.
went away. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're testing video timers, audio timers. We got to disconnect the Zoom. Zoom people, someone say something loud.
Hello?
Loud.
Up, can't hear you. That's awesome. That works
Loud.
great. And it's a Joe Boy show. No, I'm just joking. I'm joking. Let's put this right. Where does it go? There we go. Ready, Bob?
I'm ready.
Okay, audio timer set. Video timer set. Tiberius? This is Joe Boy with WJJam102jams.com recording The Third Side Combo with your host, Bob Phipps. Starting in 5, 4, 3. Welcome to The Third Side Convo with your host, Bob Phipps. Your panelists today are Michelle Walters, Jeff Nolan, Leo Robinson. Oh no, it's Joe Boy again. And now, your host, Bob Phipps.
Welcome, everyone, to the Third Side Convo. Tonight, we're going to talk about ghost guns. I'm not even sure what they were. I kind of wanted to talk about the debate or whatever the case may be.
We're not talking about the
Wait,
debate.
why not?
We're not talking about the debate.
Uh,
The debate
grab
is
me.
Here, right? Get out.
Okay,
Get
hold
out.
on. Wait.
We're not,
Wait.
we're
hold
not
on.
talking about
Hold
the debate.
on.
Get out.
We apologize for the interruption. Ladies and gentlemen, if, like me, you're absolutely royally sick of presidential debates, welcome to the show. You've just witnessed a military coup, and we have taken over. My name is Peter Gallo, and I'll be your host instead. I'm cheaper than him and better looking. The subject, which has got absolutely nothing to do with debates, is ghost guns. I'll have a declaration of interest here. I'm someone who shoots. I'm a member of the NRA. I'm a member of the National Muzzle Loading Rifle Association. And I don't have a view on this. I genuinely don't know. I'm in favor of shooting. I'm not in favor of guns falling into the hands of the kind of people that you don't want them falling into. So the question is this: should the government be doing something to regulate or to prohibit the manufacture of firearms by people in the privacy of their own homes on 3D printers?
Yes.
So who's got a view on this? Let's start with Joe Boy, who's a noted moderate chap who doesn't offend anyone. Joe, what's your position on this one?
Okay. First off, it's really simple. We have the right to make bow and arrows at home. We have the right to make any form of weapon at home, and we can learn from ourselves and improve ourselves and make innovations by being able to develop our own weapons to defend ourselves. That also carries to firearms. I'm sorry if it's inconvenient. I'm sorry if 3D printers is making it faster and easier so we can print one in 200 hours, but it still takes time and skill. We risk ourselves when we make a weapon because we can injure ourselves with blowback and so forth. But the fact is we have the right to defend ourselves and make a weapon of choice.
So your position is this is something that the government has got no place in?
They should not be banning the right to do it. They've done it in New Jersey, but they should not be banning, in my opinion.
What do you think, Jeff?
It's my understanding, though, that if they banned it in 7 states, and if it were up to me, they would be banned in every single state that there is out there. First of all, I mean, the definition of ghost guns by the Bureau, it's manufacturing a gun, not through the normal process of purchasing like a Smith & Wesson or any other type of, manufactured gun that is untraceable and has no identifying features on there. And unfortunately, primarily the people that it's targeted to are people that are that the hands that it's currently falling prey to is the criminal element. It's the people that want to be undetected because there are no background checks. There are no specifications and guidelines into purchasing these type of guns. And right now they've been able to sit there and fall within a loophole, unfortunately. And now they've come to the point where they've perfected it, they've mastered it. And now it's turning into, like, if you were to sit there and if we had somebody from the ATF that were on board, they would sit there and say that this is a massive explosion and it poses a public safety to all of us.
But Michelle, there's people killed on roads by speeding and fast cars all the time.
Absolutely,
I think the number of people killed
You're making
on
as many
roads,
faces
is there
as
any
Kamala made the other day.
serious question that why do we permit the sale of motor vehicles that can exceed the speed limit?
You know what, though, and that's perfect, though, because okay, well, you know what, though, Jeff, I'll let you take this one.
It's just disingenuous, man. Cars are not designed by their very nature to kill. That's not the car deaths are by definition, well, at least the vast majority of the time, accidents. Guns kill when they function as designed. And
they function as designed to fire a bullet at a target. Is it the gun's fault as to where that gun is pointed?
So do you think that throughout human history, guns were developed for target shooting? That's why humans invented guns? That's ridiculous.
No, they were developed for a combination of military and hunting purposes.
Yeah, killing.
Well, I mean, it's still, though, I mean, it's one of those to where the purpose behind these ghost guns, though, is to be undetectable. You know what I mean? To have no identifying marks on there. And with regards to the other normally manufactured guns that are out there, first of all, that are, you probably have some certain, safety regulations, so you can at least ensure that they are safe, but who cares about that? Because overall they're in the criminal element though anyways. If they are found within a crime, there's no way to identify them. There's no way to be able to sit there and try to do any tracing upon, what is going on. And
but the question then becomes, but why is it such an issue that it is not traceable? Does an individual have a right to sit in his own home and make his own firearm?
I think ghost guns have a right. This gives you a personal freedom to actually bear arms in the home. Right now, a lot of people are scared, sickless about what's going to happen during this big migrant thing going on. I think ghost guns are very important to have as far as just protecting the homes. I know there are laws that you can't regulate it. They don't know that you have a ghost gun, but they don't know that you have chemicals in your house that you can make a bomb either.
You go, Leo.
Well, absolutely, there is. There is no, I mean, anything to state like that. But overall, if you're going to sit there and be purchasing probably certain type of liquid, you know, mechanisms to where components on trying to, you know, make a bomb, I'm sure that you would probably sit there and put on somebody's radar, which is the same thing that we're sitting there and looking at on with, you know, with owning a firearm, is to go through the background checks, is making sure that we are doing this legally and lawfully, you know, where we can be supported by the Second Amendment.
Chemicals you can buy at the dollar store. You put them together, it
got a
makes
good
fumes that can
comment,
kill people. And
comment
you can't
on
make
the
bombs
chat
with basic
that
house
we can
cleaning
look at.
stuff. I mean, that's not
Well,
the
I
same thing.
understand, you know, and if it gets to a point though where, I mean, maybe we need to sit there and start putting some identifying, you know, factors on there. But I'm in favor of
Track who buys Ajax?
Pardon?
You want to track who buys ammonia and Ajax?
You know what? No, not necessarily that, but I mean, if for right now the discussion is a ghost gun, and we should have identifying factors on if you want to own one, if you want to possess one, if you're, I mean, I'm not, you know, I'm not against owning guns. I want to be able to sit there and own one myself. But surely, I mean, I'm not going to go out there and go buy a ghost gun, because normally those are going to be in the, you know, in the arms of elements that people that we don't want in our society.
I don't think criminals will allow you to come out and just show their ghost gun, go into the gun store and, hey, walk in and say, hey, let me do the shooting range with my ghost gun. That's not normal. Like, it's not average to have a ghost gun and show it right now because it's not regulated. They can't put a label saying, hey, you have a ghost gun. I want to regulate this gun so we can let us know that you have a gun in your home.
Well, you can't
They're
sell
not
them
gonna do that.
anyway. You cannot
you can't
sell
sell them.
the gun
So
that
they
you
are
built.
regulated. What you say? They're regulated.
You can't sell it
They're not
legally.
There are restrictions.
There are restrictions. There
Okay,
are
so let's
restrictions
start there with
already
that.
on
Let's
how
start
the
with that.
firearms are made and used.
No.
But
All
how
right,
do
well,
those
you know,
restrictions
see-
apply when criminals are making them and selling them to other criminals without going
Right.
And
through the
primarily,
background
that's where
check
this market is
process?
for.
I mean, does anybody have any data about criminals and ghost guns, or are we just, or is this just how we feel?
No, you know what though? I mean, right now, the ATF said that they have taken over 19,000 suspected ghost guns, and that's just in 2021 alone.
People in
right now,
California
they're
were
considering
making
an
ghost
epidemic.
guns to take them to gun buyback programs because they could make one for like $6 and get $75 in a buyback. That sounds like a good use for one to me.
It's actually
Uh,
cheaper to make a ghost gun than it is to buy a firearm.
Well, look, man, I think what we're talking about here, let's be clear, man. We're talking about a 21st century fancy version of a 1950s zip gun. Like, what is the difference? And frankly, I think this this attitude that, oh, well, you know, by 3D printing and making these guns, you're learning about firearms, and you're like I think that's kind of insulting to actual gunsmiths and firearm manufacturers, craftsmen. You know, it's
The simple zip gun.
Are you saying we're not allowed to learn and develop a firearm if I want to build one? Because see, for this show, I went ahead and did the research and downloaded 3 printable guns.
I'm sure
Downloaded
you
it.
had done that.
I had to
before this
register
show.
with my name and my ID. They made sure, but they said I got to make sure I'm not from New Jersey. I'm not a communist, so that
Yeah, but
I can
you're
go
not-
ahead and download it.
You know, Joe
You're
did
not-
that.
Not building a gun when you 3D print something, Joe. And you, as a gun enthusiast, I'm sure you've done lots of gunsmithing or taken classes or researched it. I have no doubt about that. I bet you know a ton about it. And
You can
hitting
3D
go
print
on your 3D printer
firearm
and
nowadays, Jeff, which is fully
Hey,
automatic.
Don.
And that to me is frightening.
Don,
But this
At least you're not
question.
contributing to the legal
Not-
I
firearms
just want to hear your opinion.
in the
I
world.
don't
Guns are
really care about the other
horrifically
people. You're the
dangerous
one who
things.
has
That's not inherently
the
bad.
experience with
But
what's
that's true.
detectable or not.
So an unregulated homemade gun
Me,
with
that's
no
the deciding
quality
factor.
control, poorly made or not, who knows, is incredibly dangerous.
Put it
Not
in the
just for
chat.
whoever a bad
Who's
actor
it
points
dangerous
at,
to, Jeff?
So you're for banning
for
this.
the builder, for the person shooting it.
Exactly.
It's
So is the
quality
question
control.
the
What's
government's
plus
right to
hands
defend
that
and
down- It's ridiculous. You wouldn't fly in an airplane that was 3D printed by your neighbor.
Mhm. Well, they have to find a way to let you know, like the government needs to actually figure out how to recognize these guns, recognize the molds that come from the 3D printer so they can regulate it where we don't get on a
Well-
plane and then somebody pulls out a 3D printed gun and you're like, oh my God, I should have been ready for this.
But that's
Well,
the
they are
whole
trying
idea
to
of
sit
the
there and regulate it. They're all trying to sit there because, I mean, when they're like I said, the ghost guns have been able to sit there and come underneath the.
Corona Cigar Company is your one-stop shop for all your cigar needs.
Okay, y'all can
Whether that's
unmute for a
new
second.
store,
Ed, why are you
a box of
making
those
so many
new cigars
faces?
you've been
What's
waiting
your view
for,
on this real quickly?
top of the
Give me a
line
second.
cutter or lighter, a place
not
to
hearing
enjoy
you
the
either.
finest cigars and spirits with friends, or the
I heard
only
Steve.
cigar
Ed,
sold
you're
right here
Ed,
in
you're
Sunshine
muted.
State.
Okay,
We've
there you
got
go.
you covered.
Unmute.
You
You gotta unmute just for a few
First of
seconds.
all, you can get a
Visit
gun
us online
virtually
at
cheap off the street
coronacigar.com.
anytime. 3D guns take a lot
Gun
of
range is a
cost to make.
family-oriented shooting
Assuming you
range
can
that
make
has
them.
been in
And
business for over
they're much
30
better. They're
years.
not as
They
good a gun as you
specialize
want.
in basic
And
firearm
because it's a
training
ghost gun,
and
which there's no
offer
such
numerous
thing,
services
that means
such
it's an
as
untraceable gun.
consignments,
I can
gun
take
trade,
one of my guns right
gunsmithing,
now,
and
file
concealed
off the
weapons
serial
class
number. I have a ghost gun. So when
training.
they're saying 21,000, that's just
Oak
not
Ridge
true.
Gun Range.
And the vast majority of crimes are committed by guns that people stole, not people printed.
Cigar
That's
Company,
bullshit.
your
That's not
one-stop
true.
shop for all.
So the
Yeah,
government
that's
doesn't
brand new
regulate
humidor.
everything. They don't
Back
regulate
off in a
Those
schools,
new
second.
cigars you've been
So,
waiting for.
Joe, are you
Top of the
in
line
any
cutter or
way
lighter,
interested in this
a
ghost gun
place to
talk?
enjoy
What's
the
your
finest
thoughts on it?
cigars and spirits with friends,
Joe, you
or
can't
the
hear?
only cigars grown
All I
right
care
here in
about
Sunshine
personally,
State.
Bob,
We've got you covered.
is Don Thomas's opinion on whether these are detectable or not at the airport. That's all I care about. The rest of it to me.
Okay, well, be
moot
quiet
point.
there for a second, because we got to go back. Don, if did they talk about that at TSA? And then we got to go. We're going to be back on. You muted yourself. You got to unmute yourself.
Check
and then
the
we got to
chat.
go back muted again.
It's
There
in
you
the
go.
chat. Look in the chat, Stephen.
Oh, okay, we'll do. Okay, we'll do more chatting because we're going to be back in a second. There we
I
are.
can't talk that good.
Everybody mute.
Bob, can you hear me say so loudly, please? That's a yes?
That's a
Okay.
yes.
And everyone from the show can hear us? Okay, we had an error that occurred. We're going to try to fix it.
At least you're not contributing to the legal firearms
No.
in the world.
Guns are horrifically dangerous, not just for whoever a bad actor points it at,
So you're for
but
banning
for
this.
the builder, for the person shooting it. It's
Uh-huh.
there's no quality control. You are trusting plans that you.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we have that. We're going to have a lead in. Hold on, Tiberius. We're going to have a lead in where you're going to interrupt them. with
Right,
what we're
okay.
saying. We'll blend that together. And you're going to say, hey, we got to do a commercial, guys. And then we'll do the commercial again. And we
Are
don't
you
have a
saying I
choice
gotta be
because the
thrown
error
out
that we
again
had.
or not?
And I believe we can fix it if we lay this out right. Okay.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. You want to?
So let me set this up. We're going to put you back on. Tiberius, I need
Ed,
you
you'd
back
have
in your
thrown me
seat.
out a little harder, I know.
Whoever wants to go ahead, I'm ready.
No. I've already got that. We're just going to go to a full screen of him. And all you're going to do is go, whoa, guys,
Yeah,
guys. We're
right.
going to go to commercial break. And okay.
Okay.
Bob, I mentioned earlier to direct
In
everybody
2.
attention to Don's comments.
Right. Whoa, gents, cool your jets. We're going to have to take a commercial break. I hear the arguments, but let's calm it down, and we'll be back after a few words from these sponsors.
Corona Cigar Company is your one-stop shop.
We can go back on for a second. If he's going to run it for, we got 60 seconds to chat if you want it, as long as everybody doesn't use it all.
If Don says they're problematic for TSA, then I'm against them.
Got it.
Hey, Steve, if Don tells you to jump off a bridge,
No, he wouldn't have much effect, or would his political opinions. But
He's going to do it.
You
Hey,
know,
Joe, should we be not allowed to even manufacture these things ourselves? Do you see this as Second or First Amendment issue or not, Joe? Can you talk? Are you hearing? Joe, you're so relaxed. You're looking around.
Hey, Bob,
unmute yourself, Joe.
there's let's say that if you give up your freedom for your safety, you get neither.
Right.
And you don't.
And we're back. And I'm sitting thinking about this. Is it possible to blow your hand off with a 3D printed gun? And I'm pretty sure the answer would be yes.
Mental health
But
is the
is
problem.
the issue of the risk of something that an individual can do to themselves sufficient cause for the government to attempt to prevent them doing it in the first place? Right? Is that a
Certainly.
safety factor?
Yes.
Is that a safety factor we have to consider? Leo, what do you reckon?
I consider that there are hobby lobbies and people that are enthusiastic with making the gun and don't know what they're doing and end up blowing their hand off, getting some ammunition in the wrong place, and the gun just explodes on them. So I think there is a problem with that and understanding. But I think we all have technology and we like to build guns, so I don't see it being a problem. They just need to be trained on how to do it. On the black market, they're not teaching you how to build a gun, right?
I don't know. I've never bought one on the black market.
I
That's
think that we're missing the whole point is, I mean, there are certain regulations that in order to be, you know what I mean, a law-abiding citizen in this country and owning a gun, we have to sit there and go through a background check. We have certain age restrictions. We have to make sure that you don't have, you know what I mean, a criminal history, no, you know what I mean, abuse, violence. I mean, there's a whole, you know, litany of stipulations in order for you to receive a gun.
There is indeed, but if you're dealing with a situation where these guns are being made by criminals and being supplied to other criminals, does the fact that a law-abiding citizen will go through a background check actually have any bearing on that criminal activity?
I mean, what's the point of a law-abiding citizen doing this in this context? Why wouldn't they just go buy a high-quality firearm from a professional manufacturer?
Because maybe I want to build one. Maybe I want to
that's
see
hobby.
if I can build one.
Well, you wouldn't be building one. You'd be
Maybe I
3D
want to
printing
improve
one.
on the design. And
That's
see if I
like
can
me
make something
saying,
better.
if I take a PDF of the works of Shakespeare and run it through my printer, I wrote it. No, I didn't. I printed it. That doesn't make me a writer.
And if
it
you
doesn't
alter
make
it,
a
you
3D
can alter it
printer
all you
does.
want for your own purposes. And if I alter the plans of a firearm for my purposes, I should be able to do so.
Well, can you alter it to fully automatic?
Yes, you can. That's the problem.
Some say
Yeah,
that's
that is
really
the
rare.
problem.
Most people who do that end
Rare,
up breaking it and they end up hurting themselves.
But the problem is I'm like, they're sitting there and manufacturing into it. I mean, it's such a great, you know, length where it's not necessarily just a 3D printing, it's the kits. I mean, and the kits are extremely successful these days. And the problem is we have a mass epidemic in this country. We have mass shootings every day, it seems like. I mean, every time you sit there and turn on the news, why make it to a point where it's easier to put these guns in the hands of people that don't need them, that people that have all intentions of doing harm? Because at the end of the day, a normal law-abiding citizen, let's say whatever, let's take me for example, you know what I mean? We go out shooting and I want to be able to purchase a firearm in the legal aspect. I have no intentions of going out there and buying a ghost gun. It has absolutely no room in my home. So I mean, you know, I don't see any redeeming qualities of this. I
Okay,
really think
Michelle, do I not have the right to build my own firearm if I want to?
you do have the right to sit there and build your firearm. The problem that we're having right now is the ETF is absolutely swamped. Like I said, they are, you know what I mean? This problem has exponentially exploded.
So you want to ban my right to build
That's
a
why I
firearm
love her.
because it's
Because the
unpopular.
government's too busy and they've got the problem's too big for them to regulate.
I love her.
It is too well. They're trying to
You know,
regulate it
it's not
though.
gun nuts. Where everything is secondary to the Second Amendment. Nothing else
I
matters.
was just saying that in my head. The Second Amendment rights is everything about this. It's like,
Man, you know, the Bill of Rights is 10 things. It's not,
Yeah.
it's not just one. And the gun thing isn't even the first. But
right.
Sure.
and guns are a religion in this country. And
I
you know,
think
there
that's
are
a bit strong, Jeff, but it is true. But you don't
It is,
believe
and I
that
stand
from a
by it.
legal point of view, you have to
Scared
start
the
from
bejesus out of this TSA
the
agent.
constitutional position,
Well, and
which is
here's
the Second Amendment.
Very much
Printed
in-
guns are as free
We're
as
coming
speech.
up to time for another
Yeah.
commercial break. When we come back, can we address the limitations of the Second Amendment? The founding fathers did not actually foresee the possibility of a 3D printer, but they certainly understood what a homemade gun was. We'll be back after these messages from our sponsors.
Aw, Dad, my computer's slow again.
Unmute if you want to talk. Ed.
I said the founding fathers didn't put that in the thing because everyone was a gunsmith back then. Everyone made their own guns. That's not true. They took parts and they made them. Ghost guns, there's not 21,000 the ATF. That's all bullshit. They confiscated guns that were used that mostly had their serial numbers filed off. And who did that? Criminals. And how did they get those? They went to the gun store. Oh no, they stole them or they got them on the black market. A law doesn't prohibit people from doing things. It just prosecutes them. And
That's why
all the laws they put in place right
the
now.
line to draw is the TSA.
Yeah,
You know,
it
to me,
scares the bejesus
I agree
out of
with
me.
everything that this Mr. Roberts has said. But the
website
problem
again,
is, if they're undetectable at the airport, I'm not going to
And we're back.
with it.
And
That's
we're
right.
back with the question
You know, and
of
read my opinion
legal
on
status
my
and
homemade nuclear
the
weapon.
Second Amendment, written at a time when guns were made by individual gunsmiths, and I don't believe there were any factories mass producing them. And by an accident of technology, we appear to have come back to that. We appear to have come back to a situation where you can have guns manufactured in individual workshops up and down the country. And the question has to then be considered, how does the Constitution apply to that technology?
Well, I mean, I think that I'm always annoyed by Second Amendment absolutists that I feel cherry pick. If you read the amendment, which everybody has, of course, it's the right to bear arms, not the right to bear guns. So we as a society have decided to limit what arms means. Guns is within that in our society.
Sure.
But laser guided bunker busters aren't, and cluster munitions aren't, or hand grenades or nuclear weapons. And I realize it's not that black and white. You can get those things if you jump through an insane number of hoops.
Yeah.
And you're performative about it. I understand that. But functionally, we have decided that those are prohibited. We have decided that felons cannot own firearms, despite it being enshrined in the Constitution. But when it comes to anything that tells a gun lover that perhaps your plastic 3D printed gun that won't be detected by a magnetometer should, I got absolute freedom. Nothing else matters. I don't care. My freedoms. Gun people and enthusiasts have no shortage of abilities to get interesting firearms, beautiful firearms, well-crafted firearms, and to learn how to gunsmith like a true craftsman in this country.
Jeff, are you
Banning guns
implying
is
that
slippery
there's just
slope.
no reason to have a 3D printed gun? Are you implying that no one should ever innovate in this world, and that
what is innovative
we should
about
redefine
somebody
what is an
3D
arm?
printing
What is the
that
right?
you're
I'm sorry, an
capable of
18-year-old
delivering
girl
your
can
home?
defend herself against some big burly guy that wants to do bad things to her. I'm sorry, she
That's
should have
Not
the right
buying
to
a
do
ghost
so.
gun.
Defend
Not
yourself
like a
against
gun.
some big burly
You
guy.
gotta-
I mean, you're drinking too much right-wing Kool-Aid, Joe. Give me a break, man.
Jeff, stop right there. The issue is for the protection of vulnerable in society, and biology dictates, I'm sorry, that women being smaller, lighter, and more likely to be the victims of crime, particularly sexual offenses.
They can
Are
buy
you
a gun.
saying that they should not have the right to have a firearm to defend themselves with?
No, not at all. I didn't say that at all. I didn't even
No,
imply
I'm just
that. But I will
clarifying the
point out,
position.
to your point,
But
to your
is it
point,
the
Peter,
type of firearm that you want to regulate?
statistically, a woman is 5 times more likely to be murdered when her partner has access to a gun. 5 times. Do we need to add to that with plastic homemade
I'm
gun?
not entirely sure how you would work that out. Is that murdered by a firearm or like murdered by other means?
Murdered by firearm.
Are you suggesting that?
Boston University study.
Are you suggesting that if you remove the firearms, the murder rate would reduce?
Well, I'm positive about that, but that's a whole other discussion.
It is, but the issue
It's a slippery slope banning firearms. It's restrictions to our constitutional rights. I wouldn't.
That is the problem that we're up against.
The home invader, the big burly guy, the Venezuelan. That is statistically minuscule in firearm deaths in this country. The vast
Okay, well,
majority
tell me
of
where the
them
majority
are
of firearms
family
deaths are.
known to each other.
Right?
Actually, majority suicide. If you need an answer, it's more majority
I know,
suicide.
that's true, it
But
is.
that
Well,
doesn't
there's
mean you
gonna be-
ban the use of all firearms because of that. You don't.
Nobody's
I
saying
have
ban
the right to defend
firearms.
myself, and I have the right to craft something to defend myself. And telling me I can't is just bollocks. That's nuts. Telling me I can't defend myself. I don't have the right to innovate and develop unless I get certain patents or licenses.
I mean,
Joe
the thing
Bly, I
is,
normally
I
agree
think
with
Guess
you,
what?
but
The,
I don't
the
agree with
ghost
you.
is out of the bag. We already have the capability.
Because that is
Anyone can
That's a
download
problem.
these
It is
things. and do it.
2024 to 25 right now. We can do anything on the computer.
that
You
is the
think
issue.
good guys are going to, the bad guys are going to go, yeah, you know what's against the law now, so I guess I won't download it.
If people
the
think
bad
that
guy.
the government should be doing something about this, the question then becomes, what can be done?
What's trying
Do
to be
you
done
want
is,
to make it illegal to have the ownership or possession of the 3D printing files?
It's
Or
not just a
is it
files,
illegal to, would it be illegal to own the technology, the machinery that would actually manufacture the item? It's
No,
not
it's-
illegal
it's-
to own a printer that you can use to print seditious literature. Why should it be illegal to own a 3D printer that can make a weapon that has the risk of hurting someone, and reality probably got a greater risk of hurting the
Go ahead.
individual that made it?
Go ahead. I hear her point. I want to see what she has to say about this.
that I want to say here and make though is they're trying to say and make this legal. That's the whole point of this, is trying to make this in a legal format. When it comes to our guns that are manufactured in this country, we have serial numbers just like we have serial numbers on cars.
Okay,
You know,
Michelle,
we
but
have
how
serial
does
numbers
the
of being able to sit there and trace it?
how do we
and-
deal with the issue, Michelle, of what
Regulated
can be
guns kill
done
people right
to
now.
regulate them? If you believe the government has to do something, what does the government
Okay.
have to do? Or
What
what
the
can the
government
government do?
Either certain states, like I said, have banned them altogether. When it comes to the kits, they said what's on the revolving
Yeah,
portion of it, and there's
Well,
another
Michelle,
component put
I'm
serial
hearing
numbers
you.
on there.
I'm hearing you, but I'm not understanding you.
Okay,
What
so
ca-
many states have banned the sale of kits. They have only one state has banned the 3D printed version. A lot have banned kits. Now, the current administration has changed the rules on what is a gun.
Yes.
And now it includes not only the lower portion of the gun, but include the slide and some of the top part. Has also been part as now these are labeled as well and is now called a firearm. But there
I
are
don't think
laws
that's what
in
they're scared
place
of, though.
that have been implemented to say if you are going to go ahead and manufacture it at home, that's fine. But as soon as you give it to a gunsmith or someone to fix or repair, so it's safe for you to use, maybe you didn't do it right, and it goes to someone professional, they now have to register it and they have to go ahead and put a serial number on it at that point. We already have those on the book. What else do you think they should do?
Well, when it comes to, first of all, the selling on the kits, I mean, the serial number should automatically be on there. And also, if you have intentions of sitting there and doing it with the 3D
It's
printer,
a block of metal.
there's
It's not a gun yet.
That's the how do you regulate the sale or the distribution of a
it's
computer
not the
file?
sale of it. It is putting a serial number on the receiver portion. It's putting the
Okay,
serial number.
how do you regulate?
Yeah,
How do
that's
you
not what they're
regulate
scared of.
the criminal failure to put a serial number on something that he produced at home? I don't know.
They're trying to. They're trying to sit there.
It's funny that she
That's
said
not what
that.
they're
It's
scared
like
of.
if you have a bamboo gun, how are you going to regulate that? So I've seen people put arrows and darts in bamboo sticks and shoot them with rubber bands, and it kills somebody. You can't regulate that. But if they make it a big thing and didn't get extremists that does it in a group of people, now you want to put laws on having that type of weapon. What's the difference from that and printing your own weapon? And now you're saying, hey, now everybody's doing it. Let's regulate that.
Well, first of all, we have a bunch of people that are sitting there and dying from bamboo and whatever it was. You know what I mean?
Oh, so it's a numbers
Whatever
game?
was you stated.
It's
We
a
have an
numbers game?
epidemic
Come
in
on.
this country. We have a huge.
Do we have a
gun violence
threshold of the number of
problem.
people who have to be killed or injured?
Now we know why
Becomes
we
a
don't let
political
Peter
issue.
Gallo take over the show constantly, because he's arguing. You're not supposed to argue.
Obviously, there's no
The
number.
problem is I'm not actually, you're not helping me. I'm not understanding what can be done. I started this
That's out.
not knowing.
It's already
Well,
out.
The cat is indeed out of the bag.
Try to we're beating
And-
against the wall trying to regulate something that can't be done because it's already in the bag. Anyone can print with a printer.
The problem, I mean, in a way, unfortunately, I mean, in science and our legislative, it hasn't caught up. I mean, we've been able to sit there and produce things, and our laws have not been able to sit there and catch up. You know, I'm sure that they could sit there and have test tube babies. Doesn't mean that we should. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? Have artificial children being, you know, developed. Just because we can doesn't mean that we should.
Well, I mean, this country is so in thrall to the gun lobby, and we're so predicated on our mythology of, you know, the rugged individualist, Wild West guns and individualism and all that, which, okay, fair enough, whatever, that's our culture.
Well,
But
we're not going to solve this one, and I'm really sorry. I don't know that we've even succeeded in pushing the argument much further forward. But thanks very much for your participation. I'm afraid we're out of time, and I hope you'll join us again next week. You remember to like and subscribe on Facebook, on YouTube, and anywhere else you can get your podcasts. Thanks for participating. I'm Peter Gallo, and good night.